We've all seen this student. They claim a desk in the library, surround themselves with thick, open textbooks, and stay until the cleaning crew arrives. But if you look closely at what they accomplished in 14 hours, the output is startlingly low. This is a trap known as pseudo-work. It happens when you drag out study sessions in low-intensity, highly distracted marathons. Your brain fatigues, your concentration shatters completely, and you end up draining your physical energy while generating terrible academic results. Top-tier students approach studying through a strictly mathematical lens. They rely on a simple formula. Work accomplished equals time spent multiplied by your intensity of focus. By dialing that intensity variable all the way up to a 10, you can compress an agonizing all-day study session into just 2 or 3 highly focused hours while completing the exact same amount of work. Academic success is not an endurance test. It requires abandoning brute force suffering in favor of high-intensity targeted bursts of effort. To maintain that high level of intensity, you have to manage your cognitive load. Elite students spend exactly 5 minutes every morning transferring deadlines from a master calendar onto a simple daily to-do list. Getting those obligations out of your head eliminates the background stress that silently drains your focus. You also have to treat your brain like a biological engine. You will inevitably feel the urge to procrastinate when your energy drops. Instead of relying on sheer willpower, you sidestep that mental friction by constantly hydrating and eating nutrient-dense food to keep it running at peak capacity. Even with a fully fueled brain, human concentration caps out quickly. Top students limit their study blocks to a maximum of 50 minutes before taking a break. And to guarantee that focus, they work in complete isolation, finding hidden corners of the campus entirely disconnected from their friends and their dorm room. By rigorously defending your physical energy and strictly curating your environment, you strip away the mental friction that makes studying feel like torture. A standard liberal arts course load might assign hundreds of pages of reading a week. Top students survive this volume by applying an aggressively liberating rule. They do not read everything on the syllabus. They process assignments through a strict triage hierarchy. At the top of the pyramid are favored sources, the core textbooks that demand careful weighting. Below are supplemental sources. You can aggressively skim them to extract the main thesis or skip the context entirely. Look at a syllabus covering the 1993 Clinton healthcare plan. If the lecture focuses on why the legislation failed, you only need to carefully read the articles analyzing political strategy. Extra readings detailing background hospital statistics can be skimmed in 10 minutes. The same ruthless extraction applies to lecture notes. Instead of transcribing the professor's exact words, organize your notes into 3 buckets. The question being asked, the evidence provided, and the final conclusion. Treating all information equally is a trap. Strategic ignorance is a required skill for identifying the specific data that actually impacts your grade. When exams approach, the instinct is to sit down and passively read textbooks and highlighted notes. This creates a dangerous illusion of competence. You recognize words on the page, but haven't actually internalized the concepts to recall them under pressure. The alternative is the quiz and recall method. You format your notes into practice questions, close the book, and force yourself to answer those questions out loud. If you spread this active verbal testing over several days, you bring your brand to your brain permanently. When you finally sit down for the test, your primary goal is protecting your momentum. If you hit a complex, confusing question, skip it immediately. Secure all the easy points first to protect your mental ease, saving the most draining roadblocks for the very end of the exam. Preparing for an exam shouldn't involve learning the material from scratch. It is simply the targeted mechanical extraction of ideas you have already organized. Tackling a massive research paper requires breaking the project into highly constrained tasks. It starts with a thesis hunting expedition. You take a broad topic, go into the library, and dive exactly 1 layer deep to find a specific, highly arguable point. If your broad topic is 20th century Swiss identity, you dive 1 layer deep and find a thesis specifically about early ascents of the Eiger Mountain. From there, you research like a machine. You don't read entire books on Swiss history. You aggressively skim indexes and chapters solely to extract arguments related to that specific mountain. When the writing is done, you run the document through a strict 3-pass editing system. The final step is a physical sanity pass. Printing the paper out and reading it exactly once to catch grade-busting typos, and then stopping. No endless obsessing, no rewriting paragraphs at 3 in the morning. Writing a standout paper does not require creative agony. It is a highly mechanical process of assembly and constrained focus. The hours you spend suffering in a library have absolutely no correlation with your final GPA. Brute force studying is the enemy of a true education. Embracing high-intensity, targeted bursts of work allows you to secure exceptional grades while reclaiming the autonomy to enjoy your life.